Alright, since this video was a little bit late, I decided I'd respond to comments instead of follow along the post since you've all read the post. Um, so I'm just gonna go into it. I've already read this one while I was starting it. Marvel vs. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is the most popular fighting game. So, oops. Your fighting game community likes a fighting game that exactly agrees with me. Don't argue against me, argue against your community. Syndra, yeah, that was my bad. And Syndra, I can't even correct it since I don't even know which thought I had was right. I had two thoughts on her, and both of them are right. So take that as you will. I'm gonna have to ignore. Uh, I don't see how that. I don't like that. I don't like people that say, "Well, it's like that, so there's nothing we can do about it." Ooh. I tend to not actually get wrecked, considering one of the highest ranked people in the game. Don't know how that's relevant. Yeah, I've read a bunch of these comments. Riven. Okay, let's talk about Riven for a second. How could Riven be both complex and demanding, yet at the same time be one of the champions that you really can never get back into a game with? Because everything Riven does is spam her abilities on top of you in a sequential pattern that you do every time. Okay? Every one of Riven's, strategies is use her sequential pattern to win the game. So the minute you get behind and this pattern no longer allows you to outtrade your opponent, you got ganked too much, it's a counter pick, it's Nasus, and he's level 11, all of a sudden there's nothing you can do to your opponent. Every time you try to go in there, you're gonna get outtraded. Yeah, early in the game she can stun you and run away, and there's really nothing you can do about it. But the second the opponent is, tanky enough or damaging enough, or just got far ahead of you and can, force you to fight, all of a sudden there's very little Riven can do. Then it's very telling. If there's Darius, Darius can do tricks to get back into the lane. Nasus can do tricks to get back into the lane. Even Annie can do tricks to get back into the lane. But Riven? How? How are you gonna play with Riven? Even Annie can use some clever, tippers, shit to win. Riven? No. The minute your QQWQE no longer works, oops, I guess I'm out of this lane. Um, this is somewhat true. I don't I don't even have time to go into it. So yes, there's a lot of depth to MOBAs that I can't even begin to discuss. Um, this is bullshit. Singe is a lot more complex than Riven. You're confusing power with complexity. Singed might be more powerful than Riven. That doesn't mean he's less complex. Oriana is more powerful than probably both of them combined. Yet Oriana is very complex. I don't even know where I'm going with this one. Just complexity doesn't directly relate. You don't have to be bad in order to be complex. Um, ultimately, ba ba ba. Um, I guess the only example I would have with this is that if God was both simple and it was easy to pull off his combos, then you would be Xin Zhao. Taking Darius is a huge, like, you go from Xin Zhao to Darius, that's like a massive step up in complexity. And Darius is still not one of the more complex champions. I would consider him middle tier. I would consider Aurelia to be a lot easier to play than Darius, simply because Darius can't mash all his buttons and the opponent for. Well, okay, maybe he can now that he isn't a reward to not use his ultimate on a pin drop, but it's Riot's bad. Riot missed that one up. Crap, I already ran out of time. I have to keep this video under 5 minutes. You guys don't watch it. Crap, I'm into like page 2 of the comments. Oh well. There you go. I responded to as many as I could in 5 minutes because you guys will never watch a video longer than 5 minutes. So, there you go.